What's up, guys? Yogizilla here, and this is episode 178 of HorsePLAY Live. Sorry for the awkward start. I had my mic muted. Looks like I'm going to be flying solo again tonight, but I'm not starting super early. It's actually, we're right about on time, so I'll do a little bit of a pre-show. Just a little bit. And, yeah, the way I'm looking at it right now, it might be an hour and a half tonight. There's a lot of things I want to talk about, especially in the news and IRL. AKA, meanwhile, back at the ranch. I'm gonna try to make that stick. But, they're better served as roundtable discussions, as group discussions. Let me get here in the podcast channel on Discord. Alright. Last time I didn't do that. And I should probably put my headphones on. Yeah, I might be doing that too. Man, noob status tonight. But yeah, I've been adjusting my microphone. I don't know, last time I sounded pretty good. I had a few peaks. So I might have it a little further away tonight. But hopefully it still sounds nice and warm, because with these Yeti mics, they tend to work better if you just talk right into them. Now I'm getting some really crazy frame drops. What in the world is going on there? If it's not one thing, it's another, right? Okay, I think we're kind of normalizing. Huh. Let's see if all the audio's picking up.
You are listening to an All Gains Radio Network broadcast of all...
Alright, that should pick up just fine. Warchild may be joining us. Beard and Hat already said he would not be. I see Obi's on playing Rocket League. Yeah, it's funny, he's not part of the show officially anymore, but he still pops in. More than he had in recent months. Go figure. Who else can I pull? Everybody looks like they're doing their own thing. Well, no bigs. I think they're playing Heroes of a Storm here. And okay. Alright, that's what we'll work with. And Gaming Death is still going on. And over at Genie Slays, they're talking about nipples. Oh, interesting. I'm not as tired as last week. Last week I was really whipped. But I'm being a more responsible adult. Getting more exercise, stretching. You know, stretching is something you take for granted, but it's keep those muscles nimble, you know, get your range of motion going. Taking my multivitamin, I'm taking supplements for joint health, muscle health, and what else does it do? It's got the omega-3 fish oil, which is really good for the fatty acids, which help lubricate your body, basically. And these have the burpless coating on them, so you don't have fish breath all day. Definitely recommend considering that. It's the closest thing you get to prescription drugs without going down that path. I try to avoid prescription drugs because you end up developing a dependency, you know. So try to do everything holistically and naturally if possible. But yeah, I guess we might as well get the show started. We've got about 8 minutes before it's officially 11 p.m. And then I'll get more into these random thoughts and IRL things, and maybe hit a few news items, and bid you all a fond farewell for the week. No, it won't be a fond farewell. Actually, hopefully this Friday, if you guys are around, or if we say, as we say in the South, if y'all are around this weekend, should be on Friday night for some drunken debauchery on the Xbox Live. Gotta make up for lost time. So if you have Rainbow Six Siege, Diablo 3, maybe Borderlands 2, that's probably what I'm looking to play. Oh, and Paladins, of course. Smite. Oh, those are the games that are pretty much on rotation. And yeah. Maybe even a little Overwatch. The Overwatch, I don't know. I love Overwatch, but Overwatch might have some trouble now with what you call it. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna switch scenes real quick. real quick. Why did I say it like that? Because I did not update the notes for today. Alright, we're gonna talk more about the Everdrive challenge. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about Prey, the critical acclaim there. Sexy Coffee, that'll make sense later. Nick Cage and Debt. What else do we want to talk about today? I'm trying to think now. There's something else we had lined up. I can't remember now. I lost it. There we go. Yeah, a little preview. Alright, without further ado, let's get the show started. See you in a bit, guys.
You are listening to an All Games Radio Network broadcast of allgames.com.
Hi, this is Normie from Knuckleballer Radio and Zombie Cast, and you're listening to one of my favorite shows on the Geeky Antics Network. Don't forget to check out the rest of the gang over at geekyantics.net. Warning, there might be rants and food ahead and possibly inappropriate behavior. Don't tell anybody though.
Every Thursday, be prepared to have your mind as geekyantics.net and gamingdeath.com bring you
the Gaming Death Podcast,
featuring all your favorite hosts,
Chris, Caleb, Hotties.
Listen as they get together to talk all about
video games.
Admission is completely
free.
First 100 viewers will get a free dick joke.
Thursday.
Every Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Twitch.tv/gamingdeath.
We thank you.
Welcome, geeks, gamers, furries, and ninja robots. This is HorsePLAY Live.
Put that coffee down.
No! Don't you put the coffee down. Forgot to turn off the music cue. But today is Thursday, May 11th. That was actually impeccable timing. And this is episode 178 of HorsePLAY, tentatively titled Everyone Secretly Wants a Pet Octopus. ... And Sexy Coffee. I'm your bald bear lizard host, Yogizilla, and this will all make sense shortly. We'll get into it. And tonight I'm flying solo again. Warchild may be passing by, but he's in the middle of a move. New house, new baby. This guy's making some big moves, and but he's got no internet yet. He's trying to work that out. So you're probably just stuck with me. So if you've been around long enough, I'm sorry, and I apologize in advance. But we're gonna discuss all things geeky, video games, strange headlines, news stuff, stuff going on IRL with the geek slant, perhaps, and just a little bit of everything. As always, we're doing this show live at twitch.tv/geekyantics, and you can join us every Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific, and 4 a.m. GMT. And earlier in the day, over at our unofficial sister network, allgames.com, All Games Radio Network, you catch our reruns, HorsePLAY replay at 5 p.m. Eastern. Again, it's allgames.com. Make sure you show some love. Give us some listens there, too. If you could get, the best way is probably to get to a computer, desktop computer. You could do it on a tablet or a smartphone. Because it is the HTML5 player that plays the streaming content off that radio station. But I find the desktop is a little more reliable on that end. Actually, you could also stream through Stitcher. Stitcher has the live streaming option for 24-hour stations and stuff like that. Shoutcast and whatnot. So that's another great option. I'm a big fan of Stitcher. Even though it messes with your metrics, it's so useful. I don't blame anyone for listening through there. But we also do have the show on, Player FM, of course, iTunes. Is it Player FM, right? Yeah, TuneIn Radio. Man, I'm losing track of all the ones. Google Play. I know I'm gonna forget some big ones, and I'm gonna kick myself. Pretty much anywhere you can find podcasts, we're all over there. And not just this show, we got other shows too. If you look up Geeky Antics, you can find shows like Gaming Death Podcast, which is going long tonight over at twitch.tv/Gaming Death. We got the Ghostman and Demon Hunter show. We have Hunnick Outcasts. We have Star Wars Rebels cast. And Timey Wimey Tea Time, which should be coming back soon. As soon as I get a chance to catch up with Doctor Who. And I'll probably be doing that show solo too, because everybody's just busy these days. I ain't mad. But if you would like to join, feel free to shoot us an email over at mail@geekyantics.net or leave us a voicemail or a text message at 646-801-2149. Again, our hotline for text or voicemail, 646-801-2149. And that is a U.S. number, if that wasn't obvious. Now, I do want to warn our new listeners. First off, welcome, and thank you for listening, and hopefully you stick around. But I do want to warn you that this is primarily a comedy show where a lot of shenanigans here, and it's definitely NSFW. So if you have delicate ears, weak stomach, you get offended easily, this may not be the show for you. But we do recommend checking out some of our other shows. Maybe not Gaming Death, because there's a lot of dick jokes there. I enjoy it just fine. I'm not offended by the penis. Some people are. And, it's tough, because there's a lot of them wherever you go. It's kind of hard to avoid them. There are a lot of dicks in the world. That's just the way it is. But hopefully you enjoy what you're listening to, and you'll stick around. So, without further ado, let's go into our IRL segment, which I'm hoping we could just start calling Meanwhile Back at the Ranch. And hopefully one of our co-hosts could do a nice little live sound bit rather than just using the soundboard. The soundboard, slippery slope. You use too many soundboard things, and then, the real shenanigans stop, and this is starting, and all kinds of things happen. Also, I've been having some hardware issues, so there won't be too much soundboard anyway. Yeah, when it rains, it pours. So, while I also welcome everyone, invite everyone to our Discord chat server over at geekyantics.net/Discord. That's geekyantics.net/Discord. And it's geeky, not geekly. I know people got that word for it. It's not even a thing. That's GEEKY, antics, ANTICS.net/Discord. And Discord is a free app. You can use it on your desktop, whether you have Mac or PC. It has a web-based version, standalone app, and even a mobile app, and they're all free. So Skype and TeamSpeak and Ventrilo, all these things, they curse. They better watch out. Discord's making some big moves. So let's get into some real talk about what's been going on since the last time we did this podcast, and you got to listen to my lovely voice. Not really. I'm not that cocky. I'm pretty self-deprecating, if anything. But last week, I failed to mention a few things, because last weekend we did the show on May the 4th, Star Wars Day, and it was the 40th anniversary, which is kind of crazy. Damn, it's been that long. I feel old now. And then it was May 5th, Cinco de Mayo if you're a gringo, on Friday. And Friday was also First Friday. Now, First Friday is a tradition that's pretty big in the South, certain pockets, certain communities. It's really big in Augusta. I know other cities in the South observe First Friday, and all it is exactly what it sounds like, the first Friday of the month. And I was going to go out, but due to some circumstances and then just better judgment, I was like, it's going to be very crowded. There's probably going to be a lot of young people, and I'm an old fart. My better half doesn't really go out and do much. He's kind of cranky these days, and that's a whole other story. But so I was just gonna go out and do the fun thing and break the routine and maybe meet up with some friends. But all my friends are old farts too, and they got their own things going on, their own responsibilities. So it's really hard to get things going. So long story short, it didn't end up happening. But what I did do is I did end up going to the first Saturday in May, which is always Free Comic Book Day. And this was the 16th annual Free Comic Book Day. I did make it out to that, and boy was it worth it. Shout out to the fine folks over at the Augusta Book Exchange on Gordon Highway. Formerly, they had another location at Bobby Jones. I missed that one, but this is their original location, and it's chock full of great stuff. They got a play area, event space kind of thing. They got the whole book section, which is pretty large, and then they have the comic book section and all the tabletop stuff, and even the front area they have a lot of stuff in the showcases and whatnot. And Matt over there took care of me. We chatted for a while, and it was a good time. And then if you're a local, if you happen to be a local to Augusta or CSRA in general, you might know a guy by the name of Damon. Is it Damon or Damien? No, Damon. And he's a cool dude. Let me tell you, he's probably one of the best TCG players that I've seen. Where's Obster? Oh, hey, I forgot to switch the scene. Someone in the chat just asked about Obster. Who's Obster? Oh, Obster, Obi. No, he's no longer doing the show, man. Yeah, man. What's up, Nagimitsu? And I see Gunny Chief is in here too. Is that a glitch? He says somehow that you chatting reminded me that it never switched the scene. Ha! So you're looking at Nick Cage this whole time, folks. Professional. Of course, the audio podcast listeners probably won't even know what I'm talking about. So that's cool. Yeah, Obi might pass by. I see him on Discord, but he's playing Rocket League. That's kind of been his nightly thing. Around this time, around 9 and onward, he's usually playing a lot of Rocket League. But he'll probably pop in. He secretly misses the show. I know he does. Where was I? So Damon, he's a really great TCG player. He's really good at Yu-Gi-Oh! And he was trying to get this Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Academy thing going, where they, teach lessons for free and, show you the ropes and whatnot, show how to deck build and lay out the playing field and all that kind of stuff, timing of spells and cards, all that kind of stuff. But Damon, he's just he's a tough guy to deal with, because he's one of those guys that's really competitive, and he doesn't just beat you, he just destroys you. And he's kind of dry, lacks people skills, and I mean, this guy's a big dude. He's got to be close to 400 pounds. And probably not the kind of guy you want to piss off. But, yeah. Fun things you see at hobby shops. I think every hobby shop has a Damon type character, or a demon of some sort, which is fitting. That works. But, yeah, some people take the competition a little too seriously, and think that's one of the issues I always come back to is if you love a game, welcome new players and try not to be elitist snob about it. Racing John, I see you sneaking in there, buddy. Haha. can't get past me. But but by the way, again, I want to remind you, we are over at twitch.tv/Geeky Antics doing this live. So future reference, if you happen to be listening to this on YouTube or one of our podcast audio feeds, now you know where you can join us live to be part of the chat. Like Mitsu says, Yogi, you're our only hope now. I know. That's appropriate too, because I was just talking about Star Wars. Good segue. Help me, Yogi One Kenobi. You're our only hope. I have a video up on Instagram of my R2D2 fun, and I had one of the youngins, playing with R2D2. She was having a good old time. I think that thing is actually pretty legit for like a toy, man. My Instagram, of course, is Yogizilla, like everything else. So feel free to add me and follow me and all that good stuff. Thumbs up, like whatever they call it these days. They're all the same at the end of the day, right? You like things, you share things, and you mention people and use hashtags. I mean, it's pretty much every social platform these days. Anyway, back to Free Comic Book Day. So Augusta Book Exchange had 25% or more off pretty much everything in the store. If not everything. I think it really was everything. It was pretty insane. Like, I got like a buttload of comics for like $20, and I got like a couple of like volumes too, So, I haven't got around to reading them yet, but I picked up one of the volumes of Saga, which if you like T&A, that's a good one to read. That's a very weird one. It kind of reminds me of FLCL, like Furikuri. It's just very weird and just like over the top at times. There's like interspecies, alien sex type stuff. It's like Mass Effect meets Furikuri. That's the best thing I could describe it as. And even then, it's probably still gonna be surprising to you. I was tempted to get some issues of Old Man Logan and the new Wolverine. I think I did. Did I end up picking up the new Wolverine? Because now it's his daughter. Spoilers there, right? I think everybody knows by now if you keep up even a little bit. But man, like I'm just looking and like at the racks. If you just look at the racks, like almost everything is Marvel, because obviously that's the most popular thing right now, thanks to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I'm okay with that because I love Marvel. But I actually tried to look for more Image and Dark Horse and some of the smaller publishers, and it was actually pretty hard to find. Go figure. What else did they have over there? I'm trying to think of what stood out for me. I haven't seen the movie yet, but I pretty much knew where they were taking it. They had to give Hugh Jackman a proper send-off, right? And you got to go out with a bang. From now on, Hugh Jackman will always be Wolverine. And yeah, he's a man crush for me too. Though I think I still put Will Wheaton and Nathan Fillion ahead of him. So he lives forever. Yeah, you can't kill Wolverine. I remember last time I was collecting Wolverine, there was a scene where this was after Magneto had sucked him dry of his adamantium, and he was like on the cusp of death. But by losing his adamantium, his regenerative powers got stronger. His healing factor got stronger. And so ridiculous things started happening. Like he became a lot more savage, a lot more of an animalistic type of character. And he went to the Savage Land and just started like rampaging. He got impaled through his heart, survived through that. He got beheaded, and he survived from that. Your old man crush is based off cavemen. What? No, Will Wheaton and Nathan Fillion, those are not old guys. I think they're around my age. They're around my generation. Yeah, I'm trying to say. Can't wait to see the black and white version of Logan next week. Ooh, that could be cool. Trying to think what else. Of course they had a lot of Walking Dead, because Georgia. I am old. What else is there? In the chat right now is cracking me up. It will be sad and awesome at the same time. Yeah, black and white has a way of getting the feels going. It gets you in the feels, man. I miss that handsome young man soldier. Which handsome young man soldier? This is getting borderline homoerotic. Oh, it's a one-night theater thing on the 18th. Well, that probably won't be happening for me. That's next Friday. It's hard for me to get out to the movie theaters because we have to plan for that, you know, and there's a lot of logistics involved. Gathering up our small army and getting everyone. Because I don't like leave anyone out. It makes me feel crummy. It's me, one of the originals of HorsePLAY. Yeah, I remember you, dude. But who's the handsome young man soldier? Oh, our soldier. Yeah. Well, he's looking kind of older now because he's got this really scruffy beard. I think he had me and the OBB combined. They said it won't be on DVD, the black and white. Okay. Gotcha. Huh. That's a weird thing just to do a one-day limited run. You would think that'd be like a special feature or something you could just convert the color into black and white with, you know, technology. Come on. Who knows? So back to Free Comic Book Day. What else was there? I got some Yu-Gi-Oh cards for my son. I was tempted to buy some for myself, but I don't want to open up that can of worms because every time a new series comes out, they have the Infinite Crisis. Is that what it is now? Yeah. Or is it Infinite or Maximum? I want to keep wanting to say. I'm pretty sure it's Infinite. Card set looks pretty cool, and they're actually re-releasing old card sets, including they have like a box set that's all like the past generations of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, like the biggest, most popular cards in a set. And then they have ones based off the movies. And they have like cool little gift boxes. Yu-Gi-Oh! They always have really cool gift boxes and collections you could get. And of course the structured decks are great. You can get them for like anywhere from like $5 to $10. Ready to play deck. And you get multiple ones to get multiple copies of cards you really want. And a lot of times they have really good key cards in there. And it's cheaper than buying them individually. They're like they're not like first edition or anything, so they're not good for trading, but for playing they're perfect. And yeah, it's a nice way if you want to get into Yu-Gi-Oh, and do not underestimate how complex and fun that game is. And it really is for everyone. Everybody's like, oh, Magic. Well, Magic is kind of harder to get into. Yeah, you have the battle packs, but I find Yu-Gi-Oh flows a little better and it's less text to read. Though now it's starting to get a little borderline overcomplicated as well with the pendulum summoning and all that crap. But yeah, you get, if you want to try it out, get two structured decks and just play it right out of the box. And it comes with a little quick start guide. It is better to do a comic subscription to read them all, or is it better to still purchase them even though they are overpriced? So it depends what you want to do, and I'm torn by that too, because like I have Amazon Prime, right? And man, I mean, with Amazon Prime, it's like they keep just throwing more stuff on. Like every day they tell me about a new book that's free or free for a limited time. So like I grab stuff and add it to my library, and because now they do the Kindle Unlimited, you could do it without having a Kindle device. So that used to be only for people who actually had Kindle devices, but I think now Amazon's focusing more on their service and their software platforms, kind of like Apple does with iTunes. Though Apple still pushes their hardware, obviously they're a very closed ecosystem. But yeah, they've opened that up so you could install Kindle on your desktop or on your phone, and you can get all those free books or dirt cheap books. A lot of times, if let's say you find a book that's like, I don't know, let's say $20, so you might find a Kindle version for like 99 cents, and it's yours to keep. Obviously, I still like physical media, because I feel physical media, this is just like more my personal feeling on it. I feel like when you buy something physical, whether it's a video game, a book, or a comic, it makes you feel more invested in it. Whereas with digital, you tend to just collect stuff and not really feel committed to it. So that's one of the issues. Plus, the smell of fresh print, new books, even old books, like it's just a very distinct smell that I don't know. I like it. It's comforting That's the only thing I could say. Yeah, Amazon and Google will rule the world. It's kind of scary. So the main reason you want to go local, buy actually like the physical copies of the comics, is just to support your mom and pop shops. I think it's very important. I think if people just started doing 100% digital, everything would tank. A lot of local economies would suffer. People would become less social, and I was just so excited to see how packed that parking lot was in this humble little shop, the Augusta Book Exchange, and they're always busy. The few times they get to go out there, they're always packed. So you have to find creative ways to find park next door, or see if you could get through around the cars and park around the back. So it makes me very happy to see, the local businesses, the small mom and pop shops really thriving like that. Though the sad part is a lot of those people are just looky-loos or folks that just come there to play games. So like they even had to put out a sign that said, if you're just gonna stay here for a long period of time just to play games, that's fine. We welcome you to, but please park further away so that our customers that are spending money have the prime parking spots. And that makes sense to me. They might have to come with a formal system for that, because it's just not right to be all lazy, park in the front, and then just be there. Because some of these guys just stay there all day. They'll bring like snacks with them. Damon has been known to have a box of donuts and not share and just keep it to himself, like which might be why he's close to 400 pounds. But who am I to judge? I'm not exactly in the best shape either. But though the way I've been going around lately, I don't know. I might lose like 50 pounds in like 3 months. All the running around I've been doing lately. But yeah, it's a whole different experience when you get a nice little bag of comics and you got that nice fresh scent there, and the crinkle of the pages and the glossy pages and the color, and it's just a whole different thing. And also I think it's still easier on the eyes a lot of the times, just reading in print. There's certain opportunities that affords. Of course, there's the headache of storage space and trying to keep them clean and stuff, but you could trade them. They have more of a potential value. And again, like I said, it makes you feel more connected to the material, I feel. But I mean, Augusta Book Exchange, they had so many, and they're not a sponsor, by the way. I'm plugging them because, I love the guys. But maybe I am going to talk to them about helping them with their online presence, because they could use some help on that end. But they had like a section where they had books 20 cents a pop, and we're talking about authors like Danielle Steele, Michael Crichton, John Grisham, Tom Clancy. So some pretty heavy hitters. You had some Stephen King stuff in there, older stuff, less popular stuff perhaps. But 20 cents, you can't beat it. So if someone likes to read, you could pick up a bunch of them. And I think they do that fairly regularly. But 25% off the whole store, man. I wanted to buy a lot more, but got to be smart with your money. Even when you make more money, it's you never know when an emergency may come up. Then another thing. So another reason I didn't go out beyond Free Comic Book Day last weekend was apparently I might have an issue with well, let me get there yet. So my ankle was hurting me out of nowhere. So I figured I've had issues with this ankle before, because I've sprained it plenty of times playing basketball and football and doing other stuff, doing MMA, and usually I recover and it's fine. But it just started becoming really uncomfortable all of a sudden and started turning to pain. I have a pretty high threshold for pain, so it wasn't killing me. It was just annoying. And it's swollen up a handful of times. And it's still going a bit, on and off throughout the week. Like right now it's cool, it doesn't hurt, but my foot was a little swollen, my ankle was swollen. Today it was just my foot. It's like one person was saying, maybe you have gout, and I'm like, oh, and it just made me laugh, because Chip Sella over at the B Team podcast, and one of the shows that we syndicate on the Geeky Antics Network. Make sure you check them out, and they're also part of the All Games family. Chip talks about how sometimes his gout acts up, and it's one of those things that people learn to live with. It's a condition you manage. Apparently, from my research I've done, no one knows the cause of it. I always find that weird. Like, with all the technology we have, all the science we have, there's still diseases that we know the symptoms, you know how to treat it, but we don't know the root cause. It just kind of happens. You don't know if it's bacterial, you know, if it's an infection type of thing, or if it's genetics, or if it's it might be hereditary, or if it's some kind of thing with the nervous system. I mean, they don't know. They just know it affects the muscles and the joints, and so that it's a very interesting thing. Some people apparently get gout really bad, and I don't think I have gout, but you know, the people that get it really bad, it gets to the point where the swelling turns so bad that they get a really deep reddish color going, and even sometimes they might have skin peeling off their wherever the affected joints are at. So that's crazy. You know, your feet, you know, it's not a huge serious thing on the surface, but your feet, if you have a problem with your feet, you start having back problems, your energy levels drop off, it could shoot sharp pains up your leg and the rest of your body, affects your sciatic nerve. There's all kinds of things tied to, it give you headaches. So, it's kind of annoying. So I just need to stay on the regimen of daily vitamins and joint health stuff, and I think I'll be fine. So I'll report back next week to let you know how that's going. And you might say, "Oh, why don't you go to the doctor?" Well, I hate going to doctors, and that's my next point. When you have a 9 to 5, especially when you're just starting off, it's really hard to take time off. Even when you have days accrued, you have to get approval, and my company's pretty chill with that. I'm one of the main people, one of the top dogs at the company, but I'm still the new guy, so I don't want to push it, but eventually I'll make it out there. I like to kind of handle things holistically, because I don't knock the professions that doctors have, but a lot of them just want to they look at you and they tell them the symptom, they just jump to a quick prognosis, and then they fill out a script. Take this medicine, take this medicine. No. A lot of times, 99% of the time when they offer me medicine, I'll just keep that script and find a natural means of doing the same thing, because then you develop a dependency, and no. That, to me, medicine, surgery, those are like worst case scenarios. And I really recommend trying to handle things, manage your conditions without prescription drugs whenever possible, so that when you do need that stuff, it'll have a greater effectiveness. A lot of times, these prescription drugs, they have these crazy side effects, and then sometimes the remedy is worse than the ailment. Hey, this helps with arthritis pain and joint discomfort and swelling, but it causes explosive diarrhea, vomiting, nausea. Well, that's the same thing. Dizziness, chronic headaches. I don't know, chronic nose bleeding, may cause cancer. It's like, Jesus, why? Why would I go with that? So, the whole healthcare industry is pretty broken, especially pharma. And I don't want to be a hipster about it, but yeah, that's where I'm at with that. Even my own boss is like, "Hey, when's the last time you had a checkup?" He's a very nosy guy, and I was like, I don't know, about 2 years ago. He's like, you really need to have a checkup. Like, no, I'm good. I know my body, and I know how to. I do my own self-diagnosis. That's why you have WebMD for. You don't need to go to the doctor. No, that's bad advice. Don't do that. Don't be me. I get, I'm crazy. I'm going to go there and I'm going to have like a cajillion things, and I'm kind of, I guess part of me is still superstitious because the way I was brought up, and my mom, the way she does things. Like, just my family as a whole. So part of me is like, if I go to the doctor suddenly, I'll have bad things. But if I don't, I'll be fine. Like, as if the doctor's the one that's giving me the ailments. Like, sorry, sir, you have 10 days to live. But if I never went to him, I'll live the rest of my life. I'll live a full life. Yeah. Because, that's scientific, don't you know? So, that's been my week in a nutshell. I also wanted to... oh, no, I almost forgot a big story. So, I have a new car. If you follow me on social media, you probably saw pictures of my baby, my new wife. She's a beautiful, beautiful woman. Drives, she rides so smooth, and it's just a good time to be around. She got plenty of cargo space too. She can fit in anything I throw at her, so that's very useful. But oh, I love that car. Yeah, but I had to leave her at the shop. So let me tell you what happened. Being an IT guy and being pretty handy guy overall, I like to do preventive maintenance. I like to kind of do as much as I can on my side and not just assume things will work, just avoid issues coming down the road. And, I started cleaning my car, and, I was putting in new washer fluid because I didn't like the stuff that they had put in at the dealership. It was leaving a lot of streaks, and there's a lot of hard water. Our water in Georgia is pretty rough. So whenever you do like a 50-50 blend for your washer fluid, I would really recommend, and I was checking owner's manual to see what they recommend, but I would say use distilled water. Don't use tap water. That's a good tip, because otherwise it could leave permanent spots, or just not have a very good finish, even if you're using something like Rain-X or Prestone, Bug Shield, or whatever. So anyway, I topped off my washer fluid, and then I just checked my other fluid levels, and I noticed that the coolant was surprisingly low for a brand new vehicle. This is brand spanking new. Still has a brand new car smell. I'm not even smoking in that car. That's how much I love that car. And sometimes I'm hankering, but nope, not gonna do it to you, baby. I won't. I respect you. We'll see how long that lasts, right? So I noticed that, and since I got the nice warranty and all the amenities and benefits, the cool perks, bells and whistles, I figured I'd take advantage of it. So talked to my gal over at Milton Rubin, and because actually she called me. Now, I don't know if she's just a really good customer service person, or if we just hit it off, whatever. I'm not gonna read too into it, but she gave me her personal number, and she's texting me here and there, and she followed up with me, and I said, hey, actually, I might need to stop by after work, see if you guys could top up my fluids and give my vehicle a quick once over. I noticed my coolant was surprisingly low, so I don't know if there might be an issue there. But I didn't really think there was an issue. I just figured, I don't know, coolant's low for whatever reason. And if there was an issue, maybe just a loose hose, loose line, maybe a seal that wasn't sealed properly. I don't know. So, drop off the vehicle, having a cigarette, checking my text messages, social media, all that stuff while I wait. Chatting with my contact over there. Really cool gal. Really beautiful too. Gotta put that out there. Really beautiful. Real sweet gal. And they take care of you in Milton Rubin. If you're in the CSRA, I highly recommend them. I wrote a good review for them on Google Places. I need to do one for on Yelp too. Now that I think about it, I'm just thinking out loud. Anyway, the service manager comes out and says, "Hey, can I get you into a rental vehicle tonight?" Sound like, and what's his deal? Is he just trying to get me to try another vehicle so I can fall in love with something else and buy another car, and get into more debt? And then he's like, "See, so we try to." I forgot what my answer was, but it's basically kind of a no, or more like a like, what the heck are you talking about, dude? He goes, well, we try to put, some more coolant in there, and it just spilled out right away. I'm like, okay. So I was like, oh, don't tell me the tank, that little reservoir is broken. That's not a big deal. You can just replace that, right? But no, that turned out that wasn't it. So the next day, follow up with them, and I've come to find out, need a new radiator on a brand new vehicle. Oh, God. So now I'm driving around in this Jeep Renegade. Don't like the body on it. The color is nice. The interior is beautiful. But let me tell you that it's a sports edition. It's got the sports trim and sports power. I think there's a V8 in there. It's at least a V6. It's definitely not a four cylinder. Cause that thing freaking just takes off and it's dangerous. I'm like, it's a pretty smooth ride too, especially on the highway. And I'm like, all of a sudden I'm doing 90, and I'm not someone to speed. I'm like, 90 and a 60. That's not a good thing to do. So I really want my vehicle back, because my vehicle's got balls to it, but it isn't as zippy. This thing, it's like it's a completely different experience. It's lower to the ground. Yeah, it's roomy, but it's not as roomy as my vehicle. It's not as comfortable. My vehicle's built more for longer trips, which I like a lot. And this is little things I'm noticing. On the Jeep Renegade, there's really more for like a younger person, I feel like, or a woman, and I don't want to like, be stereotypical or anything, or come off wrong, but it's really cute, and it just doesn't feel, it's definitely not me. So I just feel even almost embarrassed driving that thing around. Like, I feel like I'm a fat guy in a little coat. But anyway, other than that, it's actually a really nice vehicle. I would rather, if I had a Jeep, I'd rather have a Wrangler or Laredo or the Cherokee. Those are all nice. I almost went with a Cherokee, but I fell in love with Dodge Journey. That's what I have. But anyway, moving on. What was I gonna get at? Oh yeah, so the steering wheel on this is really loose. Not in a bad way, but like, everything gives a lot more than like on my Dodge. The pedals even feel like they have less resistance, and so this is a whole different driving experience on that end. Even the way the shifter works, that's another thing that's like different. So it's kind of throwing me off my mojo. I was just getting used to my new car, and I'm like, then I gotta adjust again. Yeah, but life's always in flux in one way or another, right? I see Obi keeps coming in and out of the Twitch chat. I guess he's just lurking and listening in. We'll be wrapping up soon. I think I may not even hit up too much of the news tonight, since we kind of going off on these tangents. But anyway, can't wait to get my car back. I wanted to read some funny reviews that I saw on Amazon recently. Yeah, we keep going back to Amazon. Amazon really is taking over. So here's the first one. This one's really good. And just while I read these, try to guess which one was a paid review, okay? It was a cold day in April. Susan just left me for a younger man, Todd. The house is still littered with boxes, mementos of the past life we shared. Yesterday, I came across one of Susan's many online purchases, still in its packaging from when the UPS agent dropped it off. It was a Conair waterfall foot spa. I don't know for the life of me why I opened the package. I sat alone in the living room with my weary feet in the spa. I may have a cold heart, but my feet are warm. 4 stars because it doesn't talk back. I really got a kick out of that. So the way that ended, perfect. Good storytelling there. And here's the next one. This review is for 701 Premium Vinyl and Fabric. That's definitely spelled wrong. That's Fabric cleaner made by Max Napa. No, it's Napa brand, Max, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, this is good to use cleaning the interior of your automobile. This is my experience using this product. Opening. 1. Soon as I opened the box, I seen a yellow spray bottle. Oh god, the grammar here. Alright, I'm gonna try to keep my comments to myself. It looked like any other Napa spray bottle. Using this item. 1. Like most spray bottles, I had to turn the piece where the cleaner sprays out of. Oh, spays out of. That's what they said. I had to turn the piece where the cleaner spays out of. Okay. Some pet stuff here. So this opens it and allows the cleaner to get through the bottle. There's a lot of like dots here too, which makes it even better. So I'm gonna try to insert those pauses as I read. I sprayed some on my car seat. I scrubbed the area a lot and let it dry. It cleaned the area. Tried well. What? 3. I sprayed some on my rash and whipped it with a rag. Left my dash clean with a new car shine. 4. After using it, I noticed my car had a new car smell. It was a good smell. I like this product and with works very well. Every test I put this cleaner through, it passed. It really cleans and leaves a nice present new car smell. I recommend this cleaner to anyone that loves to keep their car clean or anyone that needs to clean their car clean. Clean their clean. You will not be disappointed in this product. Thank you for reading my review. I hope it helps you on this product. So yeah, there's like a lot of double periods, so I read that as a 4-second pause as opposed to a period which is like a 2 to 3 seconds pause depending. Yeah. And the one that actually was a paid one might shock you, because it's the one that's poorly written. Now the other one may have been paid, but this one, usually you have to disclose that, for integrity purposes. So this is what the guy wrote to let people know. I was giving, not a given, this item for a discounted price for my honest review. My review is 100% based on what I think of the item and had nothing to do with getting it for a discount. You didn't even get it like on the house. Like a discount for one unit or like a box of them, like I don't know. Well, they definitely got what they paid for. Man, that was rough. So yeah, I wanted to, since we're still talking about car stuff, it's kind of just on the brain, right? I got the fever. It's been a long time so I got to enjoy a brand new vehicle, so I feel young again. We've had a lot of used vehicles, and yeah, personal experience not that great. But I want to invite everybody to check out EverDrive. Not only is it useful for keep tracking your mileage, but it helps you become more self-aware of your driving habits and become a better safe driver. The only thing I don't agree with it, I don't like the way it tracks speeding, because a lot of times you have to follow the flow of traffic or risk. You're not gonna follow the speed limits to the T if it means someone's gonna crash into you because they're driving like jerks. Say you're merging into a lane. Oh, it says it's a 45-mile-per-hour limit, so let me just drive 45 miles, and everybody else is going 70, and this guy's speeding up in the lane you're merging into. Probably a good idea to, hit the accelerator a little harder, But hey, that's one thing that doesn't really take into account. And I get it, they are on the side of safety, but I've been doing pretty good. I've been getting mostly 5 stars, but I guess when I don't usually get 4 stars. Couple of 3 stars. That's usually when I have assholes driving around me and I have to like pump the brakes or whatever. And yeah, that's always fun. A lot of jerk drivers in Augusta, I will say that. But what are we doing that time? So let's get into the obligatory news and rants. We're going to talk about the Prey release, which for the most part is received pretty good reviews. I think it's 80s, high 80s, low 90s for the most part by both the critics and the players. So that's good. I'm actually very curious about it. It's getting compared a lot to BioShock. So we'll see. We'll see what the deal is with that. I'm trying to see what I have. I have a bunch of news items, but I really want the guys to be here for this because we'd have some good laughs. So, Puerto Rico filed for bankruptcy. Well, I guess we could go back to that at a later date. It's been a 10 years in the making, and their unemployment rate is at 12%. It's rough, man. My poor motherland. Terrible. And part of it is unaffordable health care and irresponsible spending. And speaking of irresponsible spending, Nick Cage is in serious debt apparently, and so he's apparently it seems like he's just taking roles left and right nowadays. And you gotta think about it. A guy that's gets a lot of top billing, what is he spending his money on, right? So apparently he's got a pet octopus. He has a dinosaur, like a dinosaur egg or something to that effect. He purchased a La Lorraine mansion in New Orleans, which is now known as one of the most haunted houses in America. And at one point, I think I read somewhere he had like close to 35 homes worldwide. So he always had a place to crash. Over in Europe, he purchased not one but two castles for $10 million and $2.3 million respectively. That's crazy. $3 million got him a deserted island in the Bahamas. $3 million actually doesn't seem bad. He's got a 9-foot tall burial tomb. And this is on MSN Money if you want to look it up. He bought shrunken pygmy heads. Yeah, 'cause that's not creepy. He bought a $450,000 Lamborghini that belonged to the late Shah of Iran. His pet octopus ran him around $150,000. I don't think he has it anymore though. He spent another $150,000 on a Superman, the first Superman comic, original print apparently. And back to the dinosaur thing, I just saw more details on it. He outbid fellow actor Leonardo DiCaprio for a 7-million-year-old dinosaur skull. The $276,000 artifact turned out to be stolen, however. And Cage had to return it to the Mongolian government. Well, that's fun. And for some reason, that reminded me that American Idol's coming back. Well, that's a shocker. Apparently, the only reason it went off the air wasn't because of ratings. It was still doing really well ratings-wise. It was because it was too expensive to produce. So they're probably going to replace all the judges and stuff. And I hear something about Kelly Clarkson might be one of the hosts, one of the judges. So that should be interesting. She's a cutie. But man, she really gained a lot of weight. Again, I'm the one to judge, but she was really cute. Now, some people, like when they get fatter, they still look cute or they look cuter, But some people don't carry extra weight well, and I think she might be one of them. But she can still get it. Word, girl. I got you. So yeah, that's Nicolas Cage blowing all his money. So it just goes to show you that it doesn't matter where you are in life. Bad habits are bad habits. It's just scale. So be responsible with your money, folks. Speaking of wealthy celebrities, Forbes put out an article called the Forbes 5, the hip-hop's wealthiest artists. And I'm not going to go through the whole thing. I'm going to probably revisit this. But I was surprised that Puff Daddy, or Diddy, is at the top. At I think his net worth is around $750 million. So he's close to hitting the billion mark. That would make him the first billionaire rapper, if you could call him a rapper, hip-hop artist. Jay-Z has passed Dr. Dre for the first time since around 2014. And that's a big deal because when Dre, hit the top 5, it was due to his selling of the Beats brand, the Beats product line to Apple. I think that deal was worth $3 or $4 billion, which is interesting when you compare it to some of these really inflated deals people are making for tech companies and startups and stuff. I keep hearing my phone. Hold on a second. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. I had an alarm going. Oh, it's reminding me that it's time for HorsePLAY. Well, thank you for that. I'm already doing that. Okay. So yeah, hip hop's wealthiest artist. There you have it. You can check that out on Forbes. We'll probably revisit it next week if the guys are up for talking about it. So Pokemon Go has been getting some flack, and we could, it seems like we, the online / digital content creators, might be suffering, not just due to Pokemon Go, but also thanks in part to female napkins and lawn urination. Yeah. Because Milwaukee's, city of Milwaukee, well, actually, where is Milwaukee? Not the state of Milwaukee. Man, I'm totally having brain fart. The city of Milwaukee, rather. But I'm having a total brain fart. Where is Milwaukee again? On the map. Yeah, it is Wisconsin. Yeah. I wanted to make sure I didn't say something stupid. I already did. The state of Wisconsin, but Milwaukee specifically apparently is fighting against Pokemon Go. Because, I don't think people are as crazy about Pokemon Go anymore. But apparently at one point, so many people were going to public spaces and just piling up cars and, getting into all kinds of shenanigans and littering and, if there weren't any bathrooms there, they were using wherever they could find. And, female napkins, that's kind of gross. Used tampons, that's just wrong. So, if Milwaukee wins this case, what they're trying to do is control, because they think that the way to stop this kind of thing from happening is regulating what content is published, which kind of goes against the constitutional right, freedom of speech or whatever. So this will set a precedence which will allow people to control what information is displayed online, and then it's a slippery slope from there. So something to keep track of. My thing is, there's an easier way to deal with this situation. You can have local law enforcement deputize people, throw them a little extra cash. Yeah, who's gonna pay for that? I'm sure they could get it out of somewhere else. I'm spitballing here, and they could just control the chaos. Or if they see an area becomes a real hot area, they could close off that area and charge a toll. I'm sure, hey, this is a public area, but due to safety concerns, you not have to have a permit to be here. I don't know. They can think of some way that's within legal boundaries. But trying to get to a point where you control social media, yeah, good luck with that. And then if it does happen, man, what are we saying about our freedoms? This is a slippery slope. So we'll see how that. We'll keep track of that, and hopefully the guys will listen to this episode and catch up, and they can share their feedback the next time we finally get together. Other stuff is going on where people are just bitching about stuff. So there's been this trend, and there are non-strip joint places, non-sexual type places that are selling sex. And sex is sold in just about every place. I mean, the pharma industry and the sales side is built upon sex. And that's just the sad truth. Because these people aren't very smart. I've met a lot of them. They just wine and dine the right people, and then they get doctors and hospitals to buy their product. But I'm not going to get into that. But, it's one of those things where you hate it, but I guess if you got it, flaunt it, right? So you have your Hooters, right? Where some Hooters locations, their manager will straight up say, your boobs have to touch the wall before your nose does, and that's their main hiring criteria. How good do you look in a tight shirt and tight shorts? They're practically naked at times, so there's apparently a new thing, and this is how they're reporting it. And this isn't new. Tribunus and a few other places are reporting this, saying there's a new bikini shop, a bikini coffee shop. I think it's in Arizona, but for some reason it's got Washington up in arms for whatever reason. I guess Washington's a lot more conservative than I thought. I thought Washington was a lot more progressive and more liberals and whatnot, but I guess I was wrong. And people are, complaining, oh, subjectification, they're victimized, but those women know what they're signing up for, and I'm sure they're getting great tips. You know what? That's their prerogative, right? Apparently, there's even families going to this coffee shop, and the kids are like, whatever. That's kind of awkward, but I mean, what it is, the women are wearing, they're scantily clad, in lingerie, thongs or whatever. Or from what I hear, they're wearing pasties on their nipples. Well, I've seen that before, but in some cases they even wear pasties on their cha-chas. And I'm like, whoa, now that might be a bit much. And how trim are you down there? So that's got to be a sight to see, right? But they're not the first president that did this. They're not the first people to do this. One of the companies that comes to mind right away is Hillbilly Coffee Company. And they got a strong social media presence, and their baristas are known to tweet out and post on Instagram like what they're wearing and say, hey, I'm in today, come see me, and they're doing really well for themselves. And I think they're opening up some more locations. So this isn't anything new. And I mean, even close to me, you got the Country Club, which it's just called the Country Club in Augusta. And they're selling sex too. Because again, the servers there are wearing very scantily clad stuff. They're extremely scantily clad. Oh yeah, and Hillbilly's Hotties Coffee Company, they're in Washington, Monroe, Washington. That's right, and there's other ones too. So again, nothing new here, but what can you do, right? What can you do? And people are gonna get into tiffy. I think if it's within a school zone or near a church, maybe I can understand there. But if they're getting steady clientele they're making money. You're in the minority, and I hate to say it, but they're not gonna stop making money because you get offended. People get offended by the word moist. Doesn't mean there should be legislation against that word. You know, just don't drive through that area. You know, and that's my thoughts on it. It's not hurting anyone. I mean, honestly, I don't see the big deal if people just wanted to walk around topless. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a dude. It's just their boobs. How come a woman could take out her boobs to breastfeed and be all carefree about it, but if it's the context is sexual in any way, no. Well, you know what? What if there are dudes that find breastfeeding sexy? I think it's hot. I'd be like, hey, let me get some of that. I think pregnant women are beautiful. You know, a lot of guys are weird about that. But so what? You're gonna tell women stop breastfeeding, or force her to go to a special room? I mean, sometimes the baby's fussing. You gotta do it right then and there. And I know a lot of women that breastfeed that they don't think twice about it. They just whip out their boob, nipple and all. It's like, hello, and you're like, hey, thanks for the free show. Why not? And keep it moving. And I think we're just too uptight about sex. You know, violence, no problem. But when it comes to like sex, it's like, whoa, hey, let's not talk about that openly. It's a very dirty thing. You know, it's that guilty culture that we have, thanks to the bastardization of religion, rather than learning the important values of, you know, how to treat others, being compassionate and generous. We just know the disciplinary side, the BS side, as I like to call it. It's like, oh, don't think impure thoughts and, you know, cover yourself up, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, because that's what's going to make the world better, clearly. But do all that stuff, but be an asshole, because that's fine. Priorities, people, priorities. But I think I've talked your ears off long enough, my friends. This has been HorsePLAY Live, episode 178. I'm Yogizilla. Follow me on Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook. What else are people using these days? I don't know. I'm everywhere. They say Instagram. I'm on Instagram. Oh, Xbox Live. Let's play this weekend. It should be around more often soon. Well, I'm just getting back into a groove, so let's catch up. And of course, you can visit us at geekyantics.net. We have the Geeky Antics Facebook groups as well, and the Facebook page. They are different things. And I think that covers everything. I don't think we're gonna get into anything else. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, I like it. All right, everybody. Love you. Stay geeky. And we'll see you next time. Peace.